Hey everybody, this is Petey from the Spinner Rack, and since WandaVision has just finished, I thought I'd do a little overview of what happened, and let's find out, since a lot of this story takes from the Vision Quest and up to, I guess, issue 52 of the West Coast Avengers, or Avengers West Coast. Now, you can see this was an interview that John Byrne did right before the West Coast Avengers came out, and this would be obviously the first issue that Byrne did during this time. But obviously, since it's in plastic, you can't see it. So let me take it out of the plastic. There's other, this is the first issue. There was also ads for this in Marvel Age. You got this other cool cover about the West Coast Avengers, and you see Scarlet Witch and Vision. They look happy. Of course, Byrne always hurts the ones he loves, as he says. Any good writer should. So in this issue, I went over it before. This was the Vision Quest, the start of it. Now, in the TV show, they did not do Vision Quest the same way that it was done in the comic books. I'm not saying that's fault or anything like that, but basically, they did what the basis of it is mainly from Steve Englehart and Rich Howell's Vision and Scarlet Witch miniseries, where they live a happy life. They have children. They just deal with some wacky villains, but at the same time, when they at the end of it, after was it in issue 3, they conceived the kids, and after issue 12, the 2 kids are born. And just like as I pointed out in V, there's a point where these doctors don't know that she's having twins. It's a surprise that happens during childbirth, as if Dr. Strange was actually a midwife. So, with that said, Steve Englehart was allowed to do this. They entered, Vision and Scarlet Witch entered the West Coast Avengers, even though they weren't supposed to, because she quit. She quit the Avengers. But of course, Steve Englehart was writing them. Why not put them in the Avengers, right? So you got Vision, you got Scarlet Witch here, right? The classic Vision, classic Scarlet Witch, right? So we got that as I already showed you guys Vision Quest. Stop looking at the She-Hulk, right? But with that said, one of the controversial things was obviously Vision Quest, right? And the Vision Quest storyline led to what people are calling White Vision, right? And White Vision showed up in the last 2 episodes. We saw him at the end of episode 8, and he has a big fight with Vision in, he has a big fight with Vision in episode 9. So in this issue, I'm just going to do a quick overview of this issue. This issue, they get a new leader, because I talked to you about this before. You can go back to my other episode. They're at the West Coast compound. And in this issue, there's some turmoil because Vision actually created the West Coast Avengers. And since the government wasn't really happy with what Vision did in general, they put a new person to watch over them, right? And Hawkeye's upset when he leaves. So they set this up in the story. We already did everything in the other episode. Scarlet Witch is getting a new babysitter. The Vision skin there's some dehuing that happened to him. It was damaged. It was traumatized, so it got, became pale. It wasn't red anymore. That's something that, I guess you can't do that in the movie. But you see, at the same time, they're moving. The babies are gone. So this is setting up this storyline that Byrne was doing. There's another Tigra subplot. A lot of stuff's going on. And here is the piece de resistance. We have the Vision remade. The White Vision, Spectral Vision. There he is in the comic books. Not a lot of bells and whistles on him like in the TV show. But we have White Vision here, an android, right? And this was shocking for the fans because they somehow expected Ultron to create Vision with genitalia. Now, there's also a joke that Josh Whedon thought that Vision should have junk, as they say. So, but at the same time, once they did it, they realized it was ridiculous, right? So I think this was a step in the right direction. And of course, they didn't talk about if the government remade Vision with junk, but at the same time, we got this Vision, right? So we got this Vision. This is a cool point. I guess I should go back over some stuff we already covered, just in case, because this is cool. But we have him. This is one thing that didn't get to be played out, which I wanted to see. So John Byrne, they did do a White Vision. White Vision became a part of the series. He possibly has Vision's memories now, just like Hank Pym giving Vision, bringing all his memories back, but he has no emotion here. That's what we don't know yet. Does this White Vision have emotions or not? And I enjoyed the fact that Vision didn't have emotion, but this goes to all the stuff that happened before, the characters you don't know, and so this right here. But this sets up how Vision gets to. He's sitting around here in the nude. The other Captain America U.S. agent isn't happy that he's sitting around in the nude, and the Vision gets his new outfit, right? I think originally Byrne wanted him to be red, but then as he went along, he came up and decided that, so we have an image. I do have an image that shows you what it was sort of originally going to be. Don't look at stop looking at the She-Hulk. There we go. We have sort of what it could have been before Byrne got to this idea of a spectral vision. But it would have been pretty much the same vision like in the second Avengers movie, right? So we have Vision. He has a little bit of costume he put together, and this is where Hank Pym says he couldn't be the Human Torch. Shocking moment. Stop looking at the She-Hulk. So John Byrne was right. He gave us the spectral or White Vision, right? What else did he get right? If you're going to do it, I showed you this before, I got to do it again. You got to take apart the Vision. If they didn't stroll inside of them, which I guess they sort of did in the end credits, this is still the coolest image ever. So I'm going to keep showing it, and I don't think the movie did it as well, but the movie did it, right? I mean, the TV show, it's not a movie, right? So there we go. So he was right about that too. They used what he did. So all the stuff the fans were really upset about. They were like, how could he do this? How could he give him a different color and hue, a different look? Like Captain America got a new costume. Everybody gets a new costume. Now, the difference being is that after the Vision Quest, Scarlet Witch went through a couple of struggles. And you see this cover here. She thinks they're trying to take Vision, but they're after her. And this leads Scarlet Witch on a path that would lead her into becoming darker than Scarlet. You see in this issue, she's been mind control for this. You see in the next issue, she's possessed right in there. And when she comes from that, we have this issue which established they didn't do anything with the Human Torch, so that was not touched at all. Luckily, the Avengers never decided that, so we can also say Byrne was probably right unless someone decides, you know what, wouldn't it be cool? And I hope that doesn't happen. But this issue right here, this point right here, you can see Wanda got a lot darker in the series, right? She does something, she reactivates, she's not happy about any of this. She reactivates the Human Torch. She's not interested in bound by human bureaucracy and said, what is that? But they have to deal with the Human Torch. The babies again are gone. Who's here? Who's the beast with 2 eyes? With 4 eyes, right? So we have these cool stuff. Nice, interesting, cool ending. Even the android can cry. And Iron Man comes back. right? So we're getting to it. Now we're back. We've gotten out of the Vision stuff. We're moving out of the Vision stuff. And we're going to Iron Man. No, we're not going to Iron Man. Sorry. We just had to do this cool page right here, right? We're not going to Iron Man. We're in the story. Iron Man comes, and all these demons just stop popping up. And that is the Master Pandemonium. They didn't use Master Pandemonium at all. But what happens? The children get used by the villain. So this is where they didn't use Master Pandemonium like Byrne did, but what? But what am I saying? Well, I can't really get into this too much. She's upset. She's gone through so much. She's becoming darker and darker. The children are gone. She's upset. She's mad at Agatha Harkness. A little thing between them, but they don't fight. So they decided that instead of her being sort of her, I guess a mother figure or something like that, or her, her teacher. And then we have another villain involved. This is what I wanted to show you. So this is what they could have done, but they didn't do. That Immortus is involved here. He's another Avengers villain. Where you'd have the villains be the bad guy. Not there, so we can't say he was right about that. They didn't. They decided, as they've always done, that the Marvel characters have the flaws, and bigger flaws than Stan and Jack ever gave them, right? So I'm going to get you to this heavy part. So one thing they didn't do, they showed Agatha Harkness having the kids as sort of on leashes, right? Byrne went way further than that. Here we go. Scarlet Witch's kids have turned the lamest villain ever, Master Pandemonium, into this really creepy looking character. And so this we didn't see, but we did get to see he's kind of roped onto the, like them with leashes. So it gets worse. Look at that. In this cover, they get even worse for these kids, right? Scarlet Witch is through, and look at that. Right? So this is at the same time, but the ultimate point of the story is that Scarlet Witch loses her children in this, right? Master Pandemonium, they do what they can to get out of here and to stop their fight with Mephisto, because everyone has talked about Mephisto and that sort of thing. They somehow escape. They scatter Mephisto again. We never saw we had Bunny, we didn't get Ebony, right? Guess they're too scared to go for a black cat. So Agatha Harkness kind of explains what she thinks the children are. And she says to Anne, who's visiting the West Coast Avengers compound, she says, "I believe I can answer that, child. When Wanda married a Vision, she desired no more than to create herself a normal home. To one of her upbringing, that meant her having children. She could not do that with the Vision, however, since he's not a human, only a very sophisticated machine. So Wanda used her powers to alter probabilities to make it possible for the two of them to start a family. Her offspring were born of a combination of magic I taught her and her own mutant power. Lately, an imbalance has developed in that matrix. Whenever Wanda is not consciously thinking about them, the tiny creatures disappear. Then Anne asks, 'Creatures? What do you mean by that?' 'They are not real children, child. They are manifestations of Wanda's will, one small step beyond illusion. And yet, there's something more about them, something I do not know. For Doctor Strange officiated at their birth, and even he, our Sorcerer Supreme, detected no aberration in them. That must mean that they're real after all. There are many kinds of realities, and Wanda's power is great, greater than even she suspects, but not great enough that she can create life.'" And then later, Agatha Harkness explains everything. She says, "I'll explain to you in detail. Wanda longed all her life for a normal existence, forever denied her by her mutant powers. She so greatly desired a family, in her mind the perfect symbol of a peaceful, happy life, that she suffered what in a human woman would have been a hysterical or imaginary pregnancy. In such cases, there's usually no child to be born, but Wanda's power to change probabilities created Thomas and William. Twins, you see, to double the fulfillment of her dream. Since her power cannot create true life, she reached out unconsciously to snare anything that would function as souls for the newborns. What she caught, still in their much weakened state, by the recent separation was two pieces missing from Mephisto. And then, of course, the Wasp asks, the first thing that she's going to remember are children, and then she says, "No, it will not, Wasp. To spare her that pain, I have closed off that corner of her mind for all time. The little creatures are gone, restored to their original state. For Wanda, they will be as they never were." So this is the harder part, is that many people were really upset that John Byrne did a story where they took away the children, but it seemed like Marvel Comics was pretty okay with that. And this thing is something they did in the movie, in the TV show. In the TV show, the children disappear again. They leave from existence. We didn't explain where they came from. But I was gonna say he was right, but at the same time, she's gonna be searching for those kids in the multiverse. I know it. So that's all I got to say about this. A lot of stuff that was in this series. And did she become Dark Scarlet Witch? Do I have that over here? Do I have that? Doesn't look like I have it over here. But we got close enough, didn't we? We got very close. But, she didn't become altogether a bad guy. But at the same time, we got some cool stuff in the show. We got to see Vision all broken up. We got to see, as they say, White Vision. And we also got to see, what else did we get to see? We got to see her kids disappearing, but her longing for normalcy. And Byrne's explanation of what she did and creating these children in this family, this normal life. So, that's it. This is my backtrack going over the West Coast Avengers West Coast as it was changed, what happened to Thomas and William, and Tommy and Billy, and that's it. Spinner Rack out.